Guys, this is King Harp. I just want to talk about the voters' rights. I see that we are shouting this in the community, around the black community, around the black political arena, around all our politicians. They're shouting it. People are angry. Even Stacey Abrams is angry and did not want to acknowledge the president, Joe Biden, whom she stomped for. So there's a lot going on with that. She didn't want to acknowledge Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in Georgia, where I reside. They told him not to come here. Listen, he came up with a plan, and he didn't come up with a good plan. So they didn't want him here. And I can't say I blame him for that. But as a matter of fact, I blame him for a lot. I blame Stacey for a lot of most stuff. Basically, the party turned up against itself concerning black people's issues. Simply because the President Joe Biden never was concerned about black people issues. All he wanted was your vote so he can be, chief and commander and continue the war on black people, the war against you. I mean, it's proof in the pudding. That's exactly what he did when he got in there, and a lot of us knew. A lot of us, the conscious, politically astute people, the conscious politically conscious people knew. We understood the strategy because we follow it and we understood. We study it, and we go over this stuff because we find it to be important. We understand it to be very, very important. So we understood that this guy that you put there, the liberals and all, Joe Biden in office, we understood that what he was going to do. I mean, he's a jive turkey. We already knew what he was going to do. And we had black folks, countless black people singing to this man. I think it was the OJs or some wasn't the same group. They made a song to Joe Biden, man. I mean, black people was all over the place. All kind of tethers, all kind of people that truly not the American Negro that come from other places. Coming out like they us, telling other black people to forget about slavery and to vote for Joe Biden. All kind of stuff was going on. It's still going on right now. So we're going to touch on a few things. But you see, this shouting for voting rights, I think that's the same way we should be shouting for reparation, you see. Now, having a right to vote is a human right in America. And also having a right to vote will give you some decency, and we'll put like you you'll have kind of access to some power. You'll have access to you'll have a voice. But a right to vote is not giving you necessarily reparations. That's not going to do that. That's not what that's going to do. Having a correction is definitely going in that area. Having a correction is targeting that only, not a right to vote. You're stepping back here. And you're getting confused, but I'm with you all the way in terms of black progressiveness, in terms of black progression and success among political concerns, due to the fact that we've been so politically harmed, even as being slaves, and descendants, and Jim Crow, and the war on drugs, and police killings, and so forth. We don't even have the anti-lynching bill, and they want to make a presentation and a movie and a story with Emmett Till, a little kid that was murdered by some white men for nothing, and a white woman who lied that was never charged. Now they want to give this country and give us these demonstrations of how benevolent black people were and how strong we were, and we were nonviolent and all this stuff about us with no correction, and nobody was punished. The law failed. You're not doing anything for Emmett Till. We got black people going around saying, oh, they're about to do this for Emmett Till. They're about to do this for Emmett Till. Emmett Till is gone. He's dead. You can't do nothing for Emmett Till. We don't even realize how stupid, how we sound, how incompetent our response can be concerning us in a society of people who benefit from who we are, who benefit from our suffering. We don't understand, and I think this is urgent, and then we have a dire need to, literally. We need correction. These people passing around money and business camaraderie so they can be safe in their homes and in the community, respected among the society, among government, where other people know and the whole society, America knows, do not touch me, I'm a special people. That's what they have. Through the President Joe Biden, through the legislation of black people getting together and standing while Trump was in office. Don't forget about how you stood to keep DACA. That doesn't belong to you. That is for deferred action childhood arrival. That belongs to people who came to the border illegally, forcing their way in this country, and they experienced some separation from their children and different things. That's who that belonged to, and it comes out of our tax dollars, and Obama gave them bailout money. Obama gave them basically a lot of our tax dollars and signed it off illegally as an executive order. A president that we put in. That was our Frankenstein. But he gave them legislative action so that they can be more of a people among the slave descendants who have not even had a chance to own businesses and be respected in the country as a man, and that the legislative order is that, and that the Oval Office get to state loudly that black people cannot be harmed by you because they were slaves in this country, and there's an ideology in the nation to harm black people from centuries and centuries and decades of go. And still going on. But we in dire need of this. We're being shot by the police. You promised, Joe Biden, to give black people the George Floyd Act. That's never been talked about no more. But you promised all of this. You promised the anti-lynching bill that you gave to Asians. And you gave it to so-called natives. When we're natives, we were born and bred to suffer to get this nation to wealth. And we don't have any bill passed us. This is still slavery, guys. Y'all haven't woke up to this. So now the Democrat Party is in an uproar. And it's just a chaotic exchange. It's just nasty. Because of Joe Biden. He messy. Him and Kamala Harris. And then they using the excuse, he old. He old. What the hell does that mean? If he old, he need to be retired. So why y'all vote for an old man? You make yourself look crazier than that. Then you say, well, we did that to get rid of Trump. Well, you got rid of him, so now what? The Democrats have the House and the Senate. Now what? You got rid of him. Joe Biden told the NAACP to get the hell out of his face. Basically, I heard him. He wasn't even in office a month, and told the NAACP, and we got the invoice. He told them, y'all gotta get along with Mexicans. He told them to get out of his face. He ignored every command, every concern, every subject matter that concerning black empowerment or black safety. He talked to black people like he was a manipulative pimp. And y'all was saying on these programs, give him time. He ain't been there long enough. I mean, I can't tell you how ridiculous that is once you look at it with some form of intelligence. Give who time? And time for what? You don't give no politician time when you done gave them all of your political power and your political capital. They are supposed to serve the people. These parties were created to serve. But you see, black people, You have been designed, and we have been designed to serve them because we're coming from slavery, the institution of slavery. You have to understand this. So when we serve them, give our vote, and they serve the others. And that's what they done. They gave Mexicans freedom here. And DACA and all these immigration programs and housing. Well, they're not outside the road living in the hotels. Okay? Overpaying hotel stay and can't get inside apartments or housing that cost $2,000 a month because they can't match the income, but they got to pay the hotel the same price. That's what's going on with black people. While Mexicans and other immigrants taking advantage of DACA, unconstitutional. It didn't even go through the House or the Senate. It didn't even go through Congress. It was an executive order. That's a reparation to a people who ain't even suffered. And you are a damn descendant of slavery, where you have this and other people in your home, when your family was sold off and brutalized, live in fine houses where you built the roads and plowed the fields and picked the tobacco and was whooped and raped and spit on and told you nothing and laughed at and raped by the men of 10s and 20s and had mulatto children as a slave to be sold and to go around the country and be under America working for people. No legislative order, no anti-lynching bill, no business camaraderie where banks got started off of your bloodshed. And other people in this country safe in their homes are Mexican. Don't even speak your language, can't drive at the red light, and you can go right on red, and they sit there because they can't read. They got them here so fast, it's so incompetent, it don't make no dang on sense. Because black people, you stood up for this. The reason you did it, because the media told you to. They said Trump is a racist. Oh, okay, well, what if he is a racist? Ain't got a damn thing to do with me standing up for immigration. I heard black people saying stuff like, he treating them like he treated us. They treating us like they treat us. Donald Trump treating Mexicans and immigrants like they used to treat us. They used to treat us. You still a slave, baby. Ain't no use to. Well, immigrants are treating you like white folks treat you, basically. And you're saying this. Oh, he treating them with racism. Racism, the word was created on your back as a slave. You better follow Dr. Claude Anderson. You can't compare a black person, a slave descendant, to a Mexican or to an immigrant. These people fled from another nation to build their lives off the dream that killed your family and that you shed blood for. This is what's going on, and you are still a slave, and they told you to stand for them because they understand your ideology and your docile mindset according to what you are and where you have come from. I don't care how much education you have. You have to understand this. We have slavery still here among educated, among overskilled, overclassed. And that means whether you rich or poor as black, you still have some form of connection to slavery, and you still will identify. If you have not went through this door, people try to go through the window, they try to go through the basement. You gotta go through the front door. You must come in at the door. You can't go in sideways and expect a straight shoot. Everything off. You have to do some things orderly and correctly, for real. That's the science. How you gonna be corrected and you gonna attack slavery and you ain't even got back in while you were enslaved? You were enslaved to make somebody wealthy and rich and comfortable and safe. You were there for that. You built a wealth, not just money. Money is the most important to me because that's what we need to survive. We need to be comfortable before our community and our kids and for ourselves and for our health. But you were in slavery for that reason. Balls chained to your feet, whistling while you have to bring master food, going through Jim Crow, having the war on drugs set upon you without anchored cushioned choices of in America, without having a liberty of reparations or Homestead Act. White people at large, when you were supposed to be given land and ran you off your land and cake, this is what happened with you. So how are you going to be free from something that you never got any correction of why you were a witch and why you were there? You were enslaved for the reason of wealth and protection to another people. So now you want a right to vote instead of reparations. A right to vote is good. I don't disagree with that. I think we should have a right to vote. But I think we're sideways and dysfunctional. We should be talking about our correction. We're dying because we don't have protection. And wealth is protection in America. Reparations is our protection. You see, the Chinese ain't over here and the Asian ain't over here dying because they have wealth. They're not hungry. The country's not allowed to abuse them because the President Joe Biden, he gave them a bill passed so that they can support their businesses even by hundreds of millions of dollars, even with the bill. Same thing he done for the Mexicans, or tried to do for them. He did it for them. Obama did it with DACA, and now Biden even tried to give them $450,000 apiece, $500,000 before black folks. And you're the one did fish fries all over the country, going in black churches to get this man in the Oval Office, and that's what he done. And we come to also learn it's something very familiar. It's very peculiar about this and interesting. Most people that voted for Joe Biden, when we talk to them, those who have been paying attention, because a lot of us didn't vote for Trump either. We say stuff like, he just gave them this, he just did that. We talk about the war taxes that President Joe Biden is using, and they say stuff like, when did he do that? When did he do that? So they're not even following this man's legislation after they put him there. This is the black people how voted for him. They're not even following this guy. They don't even know what he's doing. They feel like they are a success. We did it. That's what a child like kid slave do. We did it. We got him there. We did it. Now we can all go home and go to sleep. Now you sleep. And he giving Asians protections when you the one getting shot by the police. You don't see yourself as a slave because you're not wanting to. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. But see, we woke. We understand what it is. It's not about cowering down. We have to face the truth we have to understand where you at in order to know where you're going. If you don't know where you at, there's no way in hell you're going to know where you're going. And if you don't know where you come from, you ain't going to even know where you at. So some of y'all in a dream, you're in a fantasism, slavery still here. You are not free. You are not free. So understand that. Literally. This is not a game. You're not free. And this man is a slave driver captain. And he's got that Kamala Harris, and she's nothing but a bed wench. And a mammy. And she's not even black. She's not even like us. She thought she could be them. And it's a Jedi mind trick. She don't have our interests at heart. And she's married to her zaddy. A white man. I'm not saying this because I hate white people. But I'm looking at this in a way in which the way it truly exists. And y'all need to be thinking critical race theory. That's a strategic and projecting attack right upon you. How you gonna celebrate Martin Luther King in America if you're gonna tell black people not to have critical race theory? We should be the only people that determine whether we should have that. According to what happened to us, we eat the failure of this, not Joan Elliott. No, we eat the failure of this. You don't get to tell us what critical race theory is. Critical race theory is a way of life here, according to who we are. I be damned. You won't tell me that. I have a dialogue that will, actually put you in another genre. Seriously. You will be ashamed to say that to me, because I'll say something to you to make you understand that you're speaking to me on a level of your intelligence is just appalling, literally appalling. To say something like that to somebody who comes from descendants of slaves, natural birth. What are you talking about? My life is a reality. It's not a cartoon. You don't get to draw in it what you want. That's what you do to slaves. And that's what you've been doing largely at our people. And our people are asleep and you guys don't realize it. Wake up. Cut the check. We need money. We need restitution. We need survival kit. We need a health. And all of that was happening. When business camaraderie come and money and people benefiting, that's water and bread, honey. That's health. That's a good mindset. That's a comfortable anchor. When the country is told not to mess with a group of people in legislation where they got millions of billions in terms of bills passed, this is what this president did. Except for you as a slave descendant. Except for you. Now,